Hey there, besties. It looks like Planned Parenthood has come out to let everybody know what a virgin is and what a virgin isn't because, in this topsy-turvy twilight zone that we live in, everyone else has to tell everyone else what it is that they're doing. Don't let their parents do it. Don't let their families do it. They got to tell you and your kids what you are, what you aren't, what you can do, what you can't do. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. All this talking about X to your kids all day, half the damn night, and people don't even seem to understand and see that your kids is being taken over and y'all are willingly giving them up. But let's hear what this biatch got to say, child.
Having penis and vagina sex is not the only way a hymen can stretch open. It can happen by putting something in your vagina like a tampon or a finger, riding a bike, or doing sports. So you can't tell if someone's had sex by the way their hymen looks or feels. Another reason the idea of virginity is complete nonsense is that sex means different things to different people. Generally speaking, society tends to define sex in a very narrow way: penetration, penis into vagina. But where does that definition leave queer people?
Girl, good night. Pick a bed and go to sleep.
Or folks who can't or don't have penis and vagina sex and choose to have oral, anal, or another type of sex instead. And not everyone's first sexual experience is consensual, meaning that they were forced or pressured into having sex. There is also a double standard on who carries the burden of virginity. Society puts pressure on men for not having sex at the exact same time they shame women for having it. Make it make sense. Either way, shame has no place in someone's personal decisions.
Lord, help your people. So shout out to Virtual Spiritual World, Planned Parenthood instructor addressing young children. Typically, society has a tendency to narrowly define X as the act of penetration, specifically when a penis enters a vagina. However, what about the inclusion of queer individuals in this definition? What about individuals who are unable to perform or who are unable or prefer not to engage in traditional sexual intercourse, opting for alternative forms of intimacy such as oral, anal, or other types of sexual activity? It's important to acknowledge that not all individuals' initial sexual encounters are consensual, indicating that they were coerced and or compelled into engaging in sexual activity. This is courtesy of Planned Parenthood because everybody knows that you should be getting everything from Planned Damn Parenthood. I'm just confused as to what happened to regular sex education in schools. Whatever happened to health class? Whatever happened to your mother talking to the daughters, to the fathers talking to their sons? Whatever happened to that? Now we got to know all this stuff. Child, I can't do this. So virginity is a completely made up concept according to a newly released Planned Parenthood video intended for middle school and high school students. And of course, this is what we have to present it. But when I try to tell you biatches that you be bringing on the damn problems, you act like you don't see it. You're going right along with this narrative and nobody wants to speak out about it. I don't need none of these people to teach my kids about not a damn thing.
What is it? And what's the big deal about losing it? Let me cut to the chase. Virginity is a completely made-up concept. It's a term that was created simply to control and shame people, mainly women. A virgin is someone who's never had sex, but it's not as simple as it seems. For one thing, medically, virginity isn't a real thing. In some cultures, people place a lot of importance on the hymen, a thin, fleshy tissue located at the opening of your vagina, as a marker of virginity. But the status of your hymen doesn't actually mean anything. That's because having penis and vagina sex is not the only way a hymen can stretch open. It can happen by putting something in your vagina like a tampon or a finger, riding a bike, or doing sports. So you can't tell if someone's had sex by the way their hymen looks or feels. Another reason the idea of virginity is complete nonsense is that sex means different things to different people. Generally speaking, society tends to define sex in a very narrow way: penetration, penis into vagina. But where does that definition leave queer people, or folks who can't or don't have penis and vagina sex, and choose to have oral, anal, or another type of sex instead? And not everyone's first sexual experience is consensual, meaning that they were forced or pressured into having sex. There is also a double standard on who carries the burden of virginity. Society puts pressure on men for not having sex at the exact same time they shame women for having it. Make it make sense. Either way, shame has no place in someone's personal decisions about sex. It's time to throw away the notion of losing your virginity. What if instead of losing something, we reframe it as gaining? Because the truth is, when we make our own decision to become sexually active, we aren't setting ourselves up to lose anything at all. We hope we are gaining things like intimacy, self-insight, pleasure, and empowerment. All of these myths around sex and virginity can be so hurtful and overwhelming. But here's the one truth you should remember. Sex is defined by one thing and one thing only: you. Maybe that's being fingered for the first time. Maybe it's having anal sex. Maybe it's having your first orgasm. Maybe it's masturbating for the first time, or when you enthusiastically consent to sex. That's the beauty of your sexual journey. You're in charge, and you can figure it out on your own terms.
Girl, good night. Pick a bed and go to sleep.
Choosing to have sex, when, what kind, where, who with, is something that only you get to define.
Stop it. Get some help.
So where is all the outrage? That's what I want to know. Where are all the good mamas out here to say we don't want this, we reject this, we will teach our own children? Why is it that we now have to come down to talking about anal and oral and all those other things? Does that sound appropriate? I didn't learn that. This is crazy. Why are we not talking about protection? Why are we talking about all the ways that you can do it? And don't worry about it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So we're encouraging children to have sex. You got this heifer up here talking very, what is the word? Animatedly, to make it sound interesting, to engage young people. And y'all just letting them. People just letting their kids just be led by any old body because they too busy horseback riding with the damn firefighter. If you know, you know. Listen, I know there was what was it, free love in the 60s, I believe, 50s and 60s, where everybody going into the 70s was free and they was loving and they was free and they was on all these DRUGSs and everything was nice and free and free and free. I imagine that. I'm assuming it must have been like what we see now. Because none of this makes sense to me. I wouldn't want this woman to teach my kid not a damn thing, especially not how to dress, especially not how to eat. Why are we not teaching them things like the first comment says? It says, now, why would you be showing kids this, but not how to buy real estate, invest in the stock market, or start a business, or how to balance a checkbook, or how to make to talk about a need versus a want, or talk about college, play the game of life. You start either with debt or you start living your life. How about when the English teacher says, we don't want you coming in here speaking like you are using Ebonics, and then everyone has a fit about that, but this is okay? When do parents want to parent ever again? I have a question. When do parents ever want to parent their children again? When is that going to come back? Make parents great again. When is that coming back? When are y'all going to take your damn kids seriously and not sit around and say that everybody else can teach them and tell them, and then when something happens, you act like you don't know what's going on? Y'all take your daggone own lives and your own pleasure more important over your daggone kids. That's why there's so many people that make Kendra G so popular. And that's not me attacking Kendra G. I'm just making the point. 4-week-old baby, you going out to look for more D. Second baby daddy, you going out to look for more D. And then you women will sit up here and defend this, talking about, mama gotta have a life too. You know, who knew that line from Daggone Baby Boy would still hold true today?
Just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. And most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
Mama gotta have a life too, you know. Mama, your life is the problem to begin with. That's why the kid out here listening to Bertha. This next comment says, why they always use Black women to push this foolishness? Why is it that they agree to do it would be the question. Why are they so willing to do it? Nobody want to ask that. This is a straight up feminist ABCD LGBT agenda. Next one says, I get from the comment section is a lot of y'all are not talking to your kids about X. These kids are having X younger and younger and need to be educated about all aspects and what comes with it. Your kids are all already being exposed to X from the music they listen to. Oh, so you admit it. Listen to this, telling on themselves, social media and the media as a whole, yet y'all are offended by an education video. The music, I agree with this person from that perspective completely, but y'all will continually give them phones and not monitor, give them computers, not monitor, just let them go wherever with whoever and not monitor, don't know where they at, don't know who they with, don't know their parents, don't know where they stand, don't know when they come in, don't know when they leave. They just basically miniature adults to y'all. I agree with her about this. But when someone says, okay, this shit was Sexy Red and Sukiyana, y'all be the first ones to defend them. Y'all be the first ones to say, oh, you don't know. Let them make their money. It's okay. They getting their change. You jealous, you jealous, you jealous. And all this other foolishness. She just admitted it right damn there with that sentence. The spread of STDs are the highest among group from 13 to 18. Last time I checked, you couldn't catch an STD from just talking to your friends at the mall. I don't know about that stat because you know people be pulling shit out of their ass. Please stop doing y'all kids a disservice and educate them on sex, inappropriate touching, inappropriate touching, abstinence, and STDs. And if you don't feel comfortable. Ask a friend or family member to do it for you. Child, this is why you need to not be speaking Ebonics because you can't even write a complete sentence correctly. Now, I don't disagree that you need to educate your own kids, but the point is that parents have a right to say that this is too daggone much. They don't need all this. Health education was not like this before. Health education. Why do I need them to know what this person thinks? If we want to preach about virginity, then let us preach about virginity. They trying to take that out of here. Right under your nose, and y'all letting it go. Because every single time that you support all the ratchetness and the foolishness, then this sneaks in. And then now all of a sudden it's like, how did this happen? Because y'all let anything go. Y'all let anything go. This one says, are y'all going to finally open your eyes and see this as an attack on children and innocence? The argument wasn't strong enough for me. We can't just start redefining words and concepts simply because we don't like what they mean. I know you effing lying when I've been saying this for how long, y'all? How long have I been saying this? People just trying to change the meaning of words just because they feel like it, because they don't like it, so they just want to change it. That's exactly what's going on. I've been saying that. Now there's another creeper creeping in. Child, Planned Parenthood ain't ish, okay? Planned Parenthood ain't ish. They get away with a lot of crap and a lot of people allow it. And again, like people have said before, where most of the Planned Parenthood's located. Anyway, I'm tired of seeing this heifer. Make sure you go ahead and like this daggone video. Subscribe if you are new. Make sure you comment. I'll see you all in the next one.
Good night. Pick a bed and go to sleep.
If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.